Alright students, yesterday we discussed about image formation by concave mirror. Okay, so far what we have been studying is reflection of light, reflection and refraction. Okay, two parts of the chapter. The first part of the chapter is about reflection of light, and in reflection of light, the most important part is the spherical mirrors. There are two types of spherical mirrors: concave mirrors and convex mirrors. Alright, so the first one is the convex mirror. Okay, concave mirror, yesterday we discussed concave mirrors. Today we are going to discuss convex mirrors. Okay, and there are, yesterday we saw six different positions for the linear object to be placed in front of a concave mirror. Today, with respect to convex mirrors, we will discuss only two positions: at infinity and beyond the center of curvature. Alright, let's see those two positions. At infinity first. Just like yesterday, we first draw a principal axis. Okay, the principal axis, and then we mark a point here. Okay, and then make. Remember, this is a convex mirror, not a concave one. Okay, so we mark it this way. Mark a point here, okay, and then draw it this way, right? So you get here the center of curvature, half the distance is focal length, okay, and now this part, remember this part is painted black, okay, this part is painted black, and it is not the reflecting surface. This is not the reflecting surface. This is the pole of the mirror, the pole or the vertex of the center. Now, an object is placed at infinity. Suppose this is your object, AB. It is at infinity, like a distant star. Okay? Then the rays of light, okay, as I used the ruler yesterday, in the same way, I am going to use the ruler today also. Okay? One ray of light comes parallel to the principal axis, this way. The other ray of light from here, also parallel to the principal axis, this way. Alright, and then after reflection they pass through the focus this way. You can see this dotted line shows that it is on the other side. Okay, and similarly here also. Okay, we put it exactly here in line with the focus here, and then draw a dotted line this way to indicate the position. This is this way, and in this direction, the same direction, this way. Alright? So you can see now, this of course line should be straight. Yeah. This is your principal axis. This of course is the convex mirror. N. It's a convex mirror. Nn is the convex mirror. This part is the non-reflecting surface. And this is the reflecting surface on my side. Okay? This is one ray of light going this way, Okay? This is an object which is at infinity. One ray of light parallel to the principal axis hits the point of incidence here and then is reflected back. The other ray of light is parallel to the principal axis and comes back. When these rays of light are extended backwards, an image is formed here. Okay? So, what will I write about the image? Image is formed at the focus, and remember it is behind the mirror and behind the mirror. Now when it is formed behind the mirror, this is in front of the mirror, this is behind the mirror. When an object is formed behind the mirror, it is always virtual. So the image is virtual. If it is a virtual image, it is always erect. Virtual and erect. Okay, virtual and erect. So the image is formed at the focus behind the mirror. Okay, the image is virtual and erect. If an image is formed behind the mirror, it is always virtual. If it is virtual, it is always erect. Now the image is highly diminished. Okay, very small, highly diminished, highly diminished. Highly diminished means point-like. It is like a point-like. So again, have a look at it once more. Image formation by a convex mirror. Okay. When the object are, in this case we'll be studying two positions. The first one is at infinity and beyond the center of curvature. When the object is placed at infinity, when the object is placed at infinity, you will see here very carefully the object AB. This is your object. Okay, it is placed at infinity. Two rays of light parallel to the principal axis. Two rays of light after reflection they diverge this way, and when they are extended backwards, they meet at the focus. So they appear to meet in the focus. They don't really meet. That's why the dotted line. They don't really meet, but they appear to meet when they are extended backwards. And therefore, a virtual image is formed. Virtual image is always erect. It is formed behind the mirror, not in front of the mirror. Also, it is point-like, means highly diminished, extremely small. A virtual image, erect image, highly diminished image. Alright? So this is the first position, when the object is placed at infinity. Now what happens when the object is placed beyond the center of curvature, at just beyond the center of curvature? Now we will examine this position. Remember, slight changes have happened, but the image formation is important when you study this chapter. And you will be asked to do this also many times. So just make sure you understand this further. But the second one is beyond C. Beyond C. Right? Now, beyond C means beyond the center of curvature. So supposing this is the principal axis, this is the center of curvature C. Okay, make your mirror this way. Right, the inner part is painted black. It is the non-reflecting surface. This part is the non-reflecting surface. Okay, non-reflecting. This is the pole. The center halfway is the focus. Now your principal axis is ready. Now when an object is placed beyond the center of curvature, let us suppose the object is placed here. This is AB. This is your object. This is your object. Object is placed beyond the center of curvature. Okay. Now when I place it here, two rays of light are needed to form the image. Remember, this is the focus. Alright. So one ray of light will be parallel to the principal axis. Right. It is parallel to the principal axis. Now after reflection, it will pass through the focus. Okay, so this is your focus. Keep the ruler in line with the focus. Okay, and extend it backwards. Here I have extended it backwards this way. Okay, this is one ray of light. The other ray of light passes straight through the center of curvature. This is your center of curvature. Okay, it passes through the center of curvature this way. Okay, and an image is formed here where the two rays of light meet. This is your A dash and this is your B dash. A dash, B dash. The image is formed here. Now if you look at it very carefully, you can see here when the object is placed beyond the center of curvature, this is your AB, which is a linear object, a straight object. One ray of light is passing straight parallel to the principal axis after reflection. If it is extended backward, it passes to the focus. The other ray of light passes straight to the center of curvature. Okay, and it goes backward this way. So when it is extended backward, an image is formed here. So you can see the image is small. It is on the other side. So the image is formed behind the mirror. On the other side or behind the mirror. This is in front of the mirror. This is behind the mirror. The image is formed behind the mirror and it is virtual and erect. The image is virtual, it is erect, and the image is formed. Image is formed. Now, where is it formed? Between C, this is the focus, and this is the pole. Formed between C and F, or rather C or F and P, between F and pole. That means the image is formed between the focus and the pole of the mirror, between F and P. The image is diminished. Diminished. Diminished means small. Alright? So these were two positions. Let's understand both of them together. First of all, when the object was placed at infinity, okay, the image was from behind the mirror. This also you can see behind the mirror. So what is common in both the cases? Whenever you see what is common in both the cases, number one, okay, in both cases, virtual, erect, behind the mirror. Behind the mirror. You can see this is common in both positions. A virtual image is formed, the virtual image is erect, and the images in both the cases are formed behind the mirror. And of course, in both cases, diminished. The image is diminished. But the difference is that at infinity, the object becomes almost, the image becomes almost point-like, very small, highly diminished. Okay, point-like. In this case also it is diminished, but you can see it is not so diminished like a point-like. That is the only difference. Otherwise, in both the cases, that means in case of a convex mirror, the image is always from behind the mirror, it is virtual, it is erect, and it is diminished. In both the positions, in case of a concave mirror, out of 6 positions, in 5 positions the image was both real and inverted. Only in the 6th position, that the image, when the object was placed between the focus and the pole, in that 6th position only, the image became virtual and erect. Otherwise, in all the other cases, it was real and inverted. And in both these cases, the positions of the image will be such that it will be virtual, erect, behind the mirror, and diminished. So, this is called a ray diagram. Image formation with the help of a ray diagram in physics is extremely important. You have to learn to do it. You must practice it in your notebook. Have a look at this and do it again and again. Both for concave mirrors and for convex mirrors. You must do this carefully. Alright, now let's come to another important topic, and that is Cartesian sign convention, and then we'll discuss magnification also. Let's see what Cartesian sign convention actually means. Cartesian sign convention, you have studied graphs. Okay, a graph paper is called a Cartesian paper or a Cartesian plane. Now, see, look at this. New Cartesian sign convention. Now, what is a Cartesian plane? Cartesian plane is a graph paper. It's a graph paper on which we draw different graphs. We have done that already. How to draw graphs of linear equations. Okay. That graph paper is also called a Cartesian plane because there are two axes out there, x-axis and y-axis. All right. Just think about this now. You see, this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. This is called the origin point. Let us call this point P. P is the origin. Okay. Now, if I make a mirror out here, okay, say this way, right? A mirror, a proper mirror this way. Now you can see this mirror. Okay, it is dark on this side. That means this is a concave mirror. Right? This is a concave mirror. Right? This is the concave mirror. This is the y-axis. This is the x-axis. That's why it's called Cartesian signs. Okay, which is plus, which is minus. Now you see, an object is placed in front of the mirror. This object, AB, is the object. It is placed in front of the mirror. Distances are always measured from the pole. Okay, distances are always measured from the pole. Distances are always measured from the pole. Okay. So when you start measuring the distance, you start from the pole. The object is on this side. So distance is on this side. Okay. This distance on this side. You are measuring from the pole on this side. This is always taken as negative. Okay. And distance is measured on this side. Distance is measured on this side are always taken as positive. This is always taken as negative, and this is on this side is taken as positive. So you can see this distance is called the object distance. Okay. So in physics, what we do is we call U the object distance. Okay. Then V is called image distance. Image distance. F is called focal length. Focal length. C, radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. Now, also H, height of object, and H dash, height of image. This is height of object and height of image. Now, what you have to understand is when the object is above, okay, suppose the image is here. This is your A dash and B dash. Okay, this is H and this is H dash. If H, that is height of image, is always positive. Okay, height of image, it will always be positive. Then object is always placed in front of the mirror. Object is placed in front of the mirror, therefore object distance will always be negative. Always negative. Minus sign. Okay. These Cartesian sign. Signs means what? Plus sign and minus sign. That is extremely important. You see, this is the Cartesian axis, x-axis and y-axis. They are called Cartesian axis. P is the point of origin. Okay. Origin actually, this is the origin. Origin x and y are both equal to 0. Okay. 0, 0. So the pole of the mirror is placed at the origin, and distances on this side are negative. Distances on the right hand side on this side will always be positive. So suppose an image is formed here. Okay. In this case, V, that is image distance, V in this particular case will be equal to negative. Okay. Object is always placed in front, so you have to measure the distance this way. So object distance will always be negative. Focal length, you see focal length is on this side. Okay, for a concave mirror it is on this side. So focal length will be positive for negative for a concave mirror. So focal length negative for a concave mirror, and it will be positive for a convex mirror. Okay, so for a convex mirror it will be positive. Object distance for both convex and concave, object distance will always be negative. Okay, focal length, it will be negative for a concave mirror because focal length will be on this side. Okay, but for a convex mirror the focal length will be on this side. The center of curvature will also be on this side, and therefore there will be negative. The focal length will be negative for a concave mirror and positive for a convex mirror. And radius of curvature. Radius of curvature is also on this side. So radius of curvature will also be negative for a concave mirror, and it will be positive for a convex mirror. Alright. Now radius of curvature, you must also understand that focal length is equal to half the radius of curvature. Focal length is always equal to half the radius of curvature. So this is another formula that I'll explain this to you later. Just understand this one, that focal length is always half the radius of curvature. So for a concave mirror, the object is on this side, the focal length is on this side, the center of curvature is on this side, and they will all be negative. And in 5 cases, the image is found on this side. So image distance will also be negative. But only in case of a 6th position, it will be positive. In case of convex distance, in a convex mirror, it may be positive or negative. But remember, distances on this side are positive, distances on this side are negative. Distance is always measured, all distances are always measured from the pole. Okay? Then second one, height of object. Height of object is always positive. It is above. Okay, so this is always positive. If height is on this side, it will be negative. Okay, height of real image. Real image is always inverted, upside down. Real image is always, for a real image, it will always be negative. Okay, and for height of a virtual image, is always positive. Okay, it will always be positive. One second. Alright, so height of a virtual image is always positive because h dash is height of always positive, and this may be, if it's a real image, then negative, and if it's a virtual image, then positive. Alright, just one small point here. You see, you might start wondering that what is this negative and positive, and why do we need it? Okay, what is the real reason behind it? Well, the reason is simple. You see, when we solve problems in physics, problems in physics are called numericals. When we solve numericals, you will require Cartesian sign conventions. You will require what is positive and what is negative. Alright, so all distances, this is called your Cartesian sign convention, and they are newly accepted in latest in physics, and that's why I call new Cartesian sign convention. Basically, this is a Cartesian plane or a plane of graph paper. There are 2 axes, they are called Cartesian axes, x-axis and y-axis. The point origin is the point where the 2 axes meet. The coordinates of the origin are 0, 0. X is 0, y is also 0. Now, you see, the pole of the mirror is always placed at the origin, the pole of the mirror. So this is suppose the concave mirror. Okay, concave mirror is like this. A convex mirror would be like this. Okay, so for a concave mirror, object is always placed in front of a mirror. So always distances are measured from the pole this way, from this side. So this negative distance will be on this side, positive distance will be on this side. Okay, these are very important. When we solve the problems, you will realize why it's important. So make sure you understand this thoroughly. Alright, then there is one small other point which I want to discuss also. Let us just see this. Mirror formulas and magnification. You see, last year when the books was changed, derivation of the formula, mirror formula, was also asked in the exam. Mirror formula and lens formula. But now you do not have derivation, which is important. So derivation is not there, but you should know how to solve problems using mirror formula. So what is the mirror formula and how do we get it? See, mirror formula mirror formula and magnification. Mirror formula and magnification. Alright. What is the mirror formula? The mirror formula is simply this: 1 upon V plus 1 upon U is equal to 1 upon F. Okay, this is the mirror formula, where V is image distance, V is the image distance, U is the object distance, F is the focal length. Alright, now you see, while solving numericals, while solving problems, we have to use this formula. So that means you will require V, U and F. Out of these three, any two will be given to you. You have to find the third. If object distance and image distance is given, find the focal length. If object distance, okay, object distance and focal length is given, then find the image distance and so on. Whatever two things are given, one thing is not given. But for that you will require Cartesian sign conventions. Whether V should be positive or negative, U should be positive or negative, F may be positive or negative, depending upon the position of the object, depending upon whether it is a concave mirror or a convex mirror. And this is where Cartesian sign conventions become important. The second formula you should also remember is that focal length F is half the radius of curvature. That is the radius of curvature divided by 2. Okay, this is also an important formula. Sometimes in the problem you will be given center, rather radius of curvature will be given, but you have to find focus. So if radius of curvature is equal to say 20 centimeters, therefore focal length would be equal to 10 centimeters. This is just an example. Okay, so focal length is always half the radius of curvature. The other formula that you need to bear in mind, this is the first one. Okay, this is the second one, and then the third formula that you need to bear in mind is this: that magnification is equal to h dash upon h. This is another formula, h dash upon h. What is h dash? Where h dash is height of image, height of image, and what is h? Height of object, height of object. So what is magnification? Magnification can be defined as the ratio of the height of the image upon height of the object. It is a ratio. Magnification is a ratio, therefore it's a pure number. Okay, there is magnification cannot be mentioned in units. There is no centimeter, meter. Magnification is a pure number, like magnification 2, magnification 3, and so on. Magnification will be a pure number. Why? Because it's a ratio of two similar quantities, h dash upon h, where h dash is height of image and h is height of the object. Okay, so it's a ratio of height of image upon height of object. But magnification can also be given in a different way. Magnification, okay, for a mirror, magnification for a mirror will be also n is equal to minus v upon u. This is another formula. Magnification is written as m. The symbol for magnification is m. So therefore, we have got n is equal to h dash upon h, and that is equal to minus v upon u. This is the formula that we need to remember. Magnification, the formula for magnification. Remember this, that these are simple formulas. They are not even difficult to remember. You can easily memorize these formulas. The application of these formulas in numericals, when we solve numericals, I will show you how to solve those numericals. It's important to know these formulas. Without these formulas, you can't solve those numericals. The first one is the mirror formula. Mirror formula is 1 upon v plus 1 upon u is equal to 1 upon f, where v is image distance, u is object distance, f is focal length. Then also, focal length is half the radius of curvature. So if radius of curvature is 20 centimeters, focal length would be 10 centimeters. Okay. Magnification. What is magnification? Magnification is a simple pure number. But what? Magnification can be defined as the ratio of the height of the image upon height of the object. So m is the symbol for magnification. M is equal to H dash upon H, where H dash is height of image, H is height of object. Magnification of a mirror can also be defined in terms of object distance and image distance. So magnification is minus V upon U. But this is for a mirror. Magnification can also be given for a lens. But in a lens, there is no negative sign. Be careful about this. For lens, this is okay. But for a lens, magnification of a lens would be V upon U, not minus V upon U. But for a mirror, minus V upon U. So magnification of a mirror is M is equal to H dash upon H is equal to minus V upon U. Alright, these formulas are about magnification, Cartesian sign convention, mirror formula, length and mirror formula, and also how to solve problems regarding this, and the image formation by a convex mirror. That's what we did today. Tomorrow I am going to show you how to solve numericals based on these formulas. So just keep tuning in every day, look at the videos every day, try to understand them. Okay, pause the video, rewind the video, and if possible, write it in your notebook also, because this is all very important. Alright, good day, have a nice day. Tomorrow I will discuss these numericals.